Hey folks, welcome back to the Leeds Gamer. It's match preview time and it's FA Cup 4th round. It's Leeds United versus Birmingham City at St Andrews, and in terms of lineups, I haven't done any research on Birmingham in terms of players that they've got available or unavailable through injury or suspension. So I've just gone with the players who have played the most minutes for Birmingham this season. In goal, it's James Beadle, who has had previous loan spells at Sheffield Wednesday. At right back, I've gone with the Japanese player Tomoki Iwata. At left back, Alex Cochrane. And then at centre back, the German Phil Newman and the Beanpole centre back Christoph Clara. In midfield, I've gone with Tommy Doyle and Korean player Sung Ho Paik. On the wings, I've gone for Patrick Roberts and Demarai Gray. Oh, hello, Kirby. There we go. She always likes to be the centre of attention on these videos. Either that or she's just getting comfy. So yeah, on the wings, I think they'll go with the experience of Patrick Roberts and Demarai Gray. And then up front, German striker Marvin Duksch, who Daniel Farke in the press conference today said that he knows Duck quite well from from managing in the Bundesliga. And then the expensively signed Jay Stansfield. What does this Birmingham team bring to the table? Well, they bring quite an expensively assembled team for the level that they're currently at. It was only last season that they got promoted from League One to the Championship, so this is their first attempt back in the Championship. After they got relegated, I think they got relegated on 50 points, which is a little harsh. It's like a team in the Premier League getting relegated on 40 points. It's a bit unlucky, but there's been a lot of cash splashed there with the American owner. I think it's former American footballer, is it Tom Brady? My knowledge of American football is not huge. But no, they have pumped a lot of money into Birmingham City, and these are the players that have played the most for them this season. As I mentioned, Clara kind of proved himself in a cup match against Newcastle that they played a while back. He's an absolute unit, total beanpole type centre back, but looked quite useful. Tommy Doyle was bought for quite a bit of money as well. He's quite highly rated in midfield. Roberts and Gray, very experienced at Championship level, and have had a smattering of Premier League time as well. As I mentioned, Stansfield was bought for a lot of money. Dutch has got Bundesliga experience, and there's a couple of East Asian players there in Iwata and Paik, and I've always thought that players from Japan and South Korea are usually pretty useful. Don't really know anything about Alex Cochrane. And then, as I said, Beadle for me, I think, unless he's improved quite a bit this season, is potentially the weak link in the Birmingham lineup. He's still very young for a goalkeeper. I think he's only like 21 now. But I believe he was about 19 when he made his first loan spell into the Championship, and he looks shaky. Just very raw, very inexperienced, and has got an error in him. So I think from Leeds' point of view, we need to attack Beadle as much as possible, get as many shots on target, as we can and really test him. He's a decent shot stopper, but the rest of his game still needs improvement, and he'll get that as he gets older, I'm sure. But right now, there is an error in James Beadle, so Leeds need to try and target that if they can. So, moving on to the Leeds lineup. Now, I've gone a little bit bold with some of this. If it was me managing Leeds, which I'd love to, but A, I'm not qualified, and B, I'm just not. Like, I'm just not the manager. I would be... I've been making, quite a few changes here. Ultimately, Daniel Farke, the actual Leeds manager, has already confirmed that Pascal Struijk and Anton Stack will miss out due to them both recovering from recent injuries. With the goalkeeping situation, we've got 4 decent enough keepers. It wouldn't really bother me if we had Lucas Perry, Caldalo, Illan Meslier or Alex Cairns in goal. All 4 of them will do a decent enough job. So for me, I think Meslier and Cairns miss out. They've both played one under-21 match each this season, on the basis that under-21 goalkeepers Darryl Ombang and Rory Mahadi are doing loan spells away from the club at the minute. So I would have them missing out, and you'll notice there that the entirety of Leeds' first choice back 5 are all missing out. And the reason that I've put them all to miss out is I just don't think we can afford to lose any of them to injury. They are way too vital to what we do in the Premier League. Apart from a stupid push against the Chelsea forward, Yacobiol has had opposition number 9s in his pocket in recent matches. Joe Rodon, solid as a rock. Pascal Struijk getting better. Both Joe and Pascal, very useful at the ball at their feet as well as being very good aerially. They're both very capable of bringing the ball out from the back. I just don't see any reason in risking any of those centre backs at all. Anton Stack's a big miss as well at the moment. He's been quite involved. I think he's got 3 goals and 3 assists this season. So he's another important player that we don't currently have available. And I would also be not risking at all our 2 wing backs. Gary Gudmundsson and Jayden Bogle are so important to what we do in the Premier League games. I would not be risking either in a cup match. Absolutely not. There's just no point. Absolutely no point in risking them. Gary Gudmundsson, for me, probably the best. It's hard to discount DCL with the number of goals he scored, and also Metcher, who's scored goals despite limited minutes, and Stack, who's, as I mentioned, has been very heavily involved. But Gudmundsson's just such a good left back. He's such a good left wing back. He really is. So arguably our best signing and one of our most important players in the lineup. And Bogle in recent matches has just been getting better and better, and has even been getting involved in some goals and assists in recent times as well. There's just no point risking him either. So in terms of the players missing out, it's effectively our first choice back 5. I wouldn't risk any of them, and then obviously Anton Stack misses out anyway through injury. So on the bench then, I've got Caldalo as the backup GK. And then I've gone to our under-21s to fill up some space there. So we've got young right back Louis Dudley. He is rapid. Very, very quick, very pacey. So I'd have him backing up on the right hand side. I'd have Jayden Leonu backing up on the left hand side. He was signed on a free transfer when his youth contract at Manchester City ran out in the summer. He's done quite well in the under-21s as well up to now. Leeds under-21 captain Alfie Cresswell. Ollie Pickles has had the captain's armband in recent times as well, but it has been for the majority Alfie Cresswell. He's versatile. He can play centre-back and defensive midfield, so I think that would be useful. And then on to the more senior players, you've got Brendan Aronson, who has been a little quiet in the last couple of matches, but before that was on a real hot streak when it came to goals and assists. Facundo Buonanotte has been confirmed that he can play. There was concerns that he might have been cup tied, because I think he played for Chelsea in the cup against Charlton. But apparently he is available. Players can play for 2 clubs instead of 1 in a season for the F.A.Cup now, which I think is quite useful. So I'd have Buonanotte on the bench. Just purely good. I still don't think his fitness is right up there yet. So I don't think he's quite ready to start this one. But definitely having him on the bench. Noah Okafor, been very good the last couple of games, getting involved in the goals. Again, he's doubled his tally. He was on 2 for ages, and now he's on 4. So he's doing very well recently. Lucas Mecha scored another very good penalty, this time against Chelsea. And again, he's, for the number of minutes that Mecha's played this season, he's already on 6 goals. He's doing all right. He really is. And again, sign for a free transfer, you can't go wrong. And talking of free transfers, you can't go wrong with DCL. 10 goals this season now. He's played a lot more minutes than Mecha, but 16 goals between 2 free transfer strikers. That ain't bad, is it? It's not bad at all. So I'd have both of them on the bench just in case the game goes a little bit haywire and we need some extra firepower. So there's some good attacking options there. From Brendan down to Dom. You've got plenty of attacking flair and attacking options there, without a doubt. And I think, having the kids on the bench there for the defensive point of view, I don't think it does any of them any harm. We'd rather be using the attacking players coming off the bench rather than the defensive ones. I don't see any harm in having those 3 on the bench. And then Caldalo, he doesn't have to play this one. Good opportunity for Lucas Perry to try and get some confidence back. I genuinely don't think Lucas Perry is a bad goalkeeper. I just think he's having a bit of a difficult adaptation period. He's coming to the Premier League for the first time. It's not easy. Bought for big money as well. £15 million is quite a bit for a goalkeeper. So, there's a bit of pressure on him. And he's got to deal with that pressure. He's got to figure out a way of dealing with it. But I don't think he's a bad goalkeeper, and this would be a good opportunity for Lucas to step into the breach. At fullback, I've gone with a back 4 here. I don't think we need to go back 5 against Birmingham. I think we can cope with the back 4. So I'll be using James Justin, who's been really, really good in recent times. Wasn't a first choice defender for the first part of the season, but in recent matches he's played at right wing back, left wing back, centre back, and he's done very, very well. So yeah, I'd have James Justin playing. Sam Byram, he's hardly had a kick all season, and Daniel Farke was mentioning in the press conference how much he highly rates Sam Byram. This is the perfect opportunity for Sam to get some minutes. Vastly experienced. Loves the club. Came through the Leeds youth system. Not actually born in Leeds or in Yorkshire, but came through Leeds' youth academy and joined Leeds on a free. I think it was the first season that we were back in the Championship. The first season that Daniel Farke came in, if I remember rightly. But yeah, I'd be playing Sam on this one, no doubt about it. And I've gone with a centre-back pairing of Seb Bornau and Ethan Ampadu. Bornau, natural for him to start this one really, on the basis that I'm resting all of the first choice defenders. And I'm dropping Ethan Ampadu back from midfield into defence. He's done it before, he's more than capable, and with Pascal Strout, the vice-captain, not being available to captain this match, it makes sense for Ethan to play, but to drop him back into defence so that he's not kind of having to do as much running necessarily. It's a different role playing centre-back than it is playing DCM. So, for me I think that would work. Just in front of the back line there, Ilya Gruev playing pretty much a DCM role. Then Sean Longstaff kind of bossing the central of the midfield area. And then Ao Tanaka playing as a very advanced 8, almost an ACM or a kind of a false 10 if you like. Tanaka is capable of doing that. So I think we've got enough energy in the midfield there. On the wings, I'll be getting Dan James and Wilfred Gnonto on the wings there. Dan James has recently come back, to reasonable fitness after a long injury. He's made a couple of substitute appearances, looked quite good actually, looked quite sharp. And Wilfred Gnonto, who again has struggled, a bit like Tanaka recently, has struggled for minutes. This is the perfect opportunity for Wilfred Gnonto to get some minutes in his legs again. And I think that Gnonto and James could cause Iwata and Cochrane some real problems on those flanks. And then up front, it's got to be Joel Piroux. Again, a bit like Sam Byram, he's hardly had a kick this season. So this is prime opportunity for last season's Championship Golden Boot winner. 19 goals scored last season for Leeds. Great opportunity for him to come into the breach, try and get some goals. Why the hell not? So yeah, that is my match preview there, folks. Do I think that this is how it will work out? No. If truth be told, it's pretty much what I do, but I'm not the Leeds manager. I wish I was. Get paid good money and I get to be around the club that I love. So it'd be great fun. But yeah, I'm not a qualified manager yet. Wait until I get my UEFA coaching badges. Then we'll see. In the meantime, what do I actually think? I think there's a possibility, as long as none of the Birmingham 11 are either injured or suspended, I think there's a possibility that Chris Davies might go with his strongest 11, or certainly his most trusted 11 of the season so far. I think that he might decide to kind of put some of the fringe players on the bench, not necessarily the youth players, but the senior players who haven't played as much. I think they'll monopolise the Birmingham bench. But they are at home, so they're going to give it a go. I don't think they're going to kind of play defensive, especially not against Leeds. I think they'll feel it's a game they can give it a good go, and I think they probably will. From Leeds' point of view, I think that I think the first choice back five will, some of those will be on the bench. I'd be amazed if they weren't. I don't think that Dudley, Leonu or Cresswell will be on that bench. But I've put it on here because it is an option, and excuse me, I just don't think there's any point in risk. I think that our defence, our first choice defence, is so important to how we've been in recent matches. We've got the likes of Metcha and DCL on the bench that can come on and score goals. The likes of Buonanotte and Okafor, very flary players that can create something out of nothing. Aronson, he's got that energy, he's got that engine on him. He can run for days. There's enough attacking prowess there to allow us to put our youth defenders on the bench, in my opinion. I just wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk them. You hear of players getting injured in the warm-up, on the approach to a game, and it's like, it just feels so pointless, doesn't it, when you lose a player, in that situation. So, yeah, just won't risk it. We've got some very tough games in the Premier League coming up with Aston Villa and Manchester City. We need that back five. We don't need to risk them against Birmingham. No disrespect to Birmingham. I still think that the lineup that I've put out here for Leeds is capable of beating Birmingham, and it's still a very senior lineup. It's not like I've put out all of Leeds' under-21s. Farker's already confirmed there's not going to be a lot of under-21s involved in this match, and I certainly don't see any of them starting. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, folks. I think I'm in need of a cup of tea. Big thank you for watching. Do please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do please give the video a like and a hype. Let's hope that Leeds can do the job. I think Leeds will win 2-1. There's a prediction. Scorers Piroux and Tanaka. How's about that? For Birmingham, Ducks. Why not? There you go. But yep, big thank you for watching. Catch you next time. Have a good one. Bye for now.